came tonight because we didn't know what was going to happen, but some of us just allowed Spirit to say, get on the road, let's go. And so we're here. But I want to say thank you to the Saginaw Art Museum, Ben and Thor. Let me tell you guys how funny it was when I met them. I was actually at my son's show at the Flint Institute of Arts, and they had seen a show that Mario curated for Cranbrook Art Museum. He co-curated the show with Laura Mott, and the show was called Skilled Labor. So I had these very larger than life-size drawings of my children, because I feel like those are the greatest things I've carried. But when I got to the Flint Institute of Arts, these two men were following me, and they were smiling, and it wasn't creepy, but I didn't know them. And then they were like, can Sabrina Nelson, right? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, can we talk to you for a second? And I was like, sure. But I mean, I'm like old men, but y'all, but where y'all daddies at? I mean, you know. So anyway, they were like, we love your work and we want to talk to you about possibly having a show at the Saginaw Art Museum. And I was like, me? Like I did that whole like, you like me? And so it's been a beautiful journey from communication, from me coming up here. And I've never visited the Saginaw Art Museum, but I've always been to SASA. I've always been to MacArthur because I work at the College of Art and I recruit, and I've been there 30 years. So Saginaw was my territory for at least 25. And so I knew all the teachers in the area, and it was like really great. I'm like, oh, I could have a show here. Can we invite the kids? Yeah. And like, that was my main thing. I was like, I just want the kids to come. I wanted Mario to go to SASA when he was in middle school. And I was like, well, we live too far, so we gonna get it in Detroit. But I was so excited about the art in Saginaw and in Flint. And so when we talked about me having a show, I let them know that I had an experience in Zimbabwe, my first time being there, and I was there almost a month, and I watched women carry things. Women who were well over 80 carrying their great-grandchildren on their back, carrying wood, water, and food at the same time. And when I got home, I went with no expectations, but when I came home, I couldn't stop thinking about them. And so I was like, what do I care? And Miss Janet at a Source bookstore in Detroit asked me a question that made me stop breathing. She said, what did you bring back from Zimbabwe besides trinkets? No one's ever asked me that. Like a lot of family were texting, can you bring dirt back? Can you bring me some of this? Can you bring me some of that? And I was like, I had to stop and just hold my breath. And I said, I brought back the respect for water. I brought back the idea of how we carry things physically, spiritually, psychologically, and also emotionally. I brought back the idea that we take things for granted here in America, and that our food is not right. And neither is our government, but we ain't gonna get into that. But that turned into this exhibit because I started thinking about how women, and there's people too, but I just finished right now, I'm having a whole year and a half of showing James Baldwin. And I honored my father before that, and before that, my children. And so I'm back in my womanist bag and thinking about how we carry things. Here in this country, we carry them because we are privileged. We carry them emotionally. We carry them, we hold secrets. We hold burdens. We hold trauma and triumph. But I wanted to think about even the grandmothers who held the seeds of their granddaughters. The newer pieces show, when I asked them what they hold, they told me based on the photos. So Angela is Song of Solomon, and if you know the Bible, it's about I am the Rose of Sharon, but she is the keeper of music. Alex just had her baby yesterday. She's pregnant in this picture. The baby was born at 1-something a.m., and his name is Nasir Lamar Sargent. He is my nephew. So she holds life and death, and her grandparents died within 6 months of each other. So she's holding that. Right back here is Ingia with the yellow. All of her ancestors are behind her, but she's holding water, and she's on the bed of magnolia leaves because of my great-grandmother. but also she is my griot. She is the person that I've known who's held the history of Detroit through her camera. She went to Howard University for filmmaking, and she holds things together in the city of Detroit, festivals, people. She's a producer, and she's more than that. And so my niece is on the invite. She holds the hope for her grandparents. She holds the history of her parents' face on her face. She holds the pictures, the Bible. She holds the money tree. And the spirit of her ancestors hold her as well. So you'll see a lot of water. Lakila is holding collard greens here. And I didn't know how beautiful the okra plant was once it blooms. I don't do okra. I'm a person against okra. Okra should not exist in my mind. But I will say that it is from Africa, and they used it as a thickener. And here we eat it, and that's cool. I'm just not the we. So Lakila had a solo show at Mocan Museum, and she cast pig feet, corn, collard greens, grills, bamboo earrings, and I know it was, I think Nefertiti head, because in the hood you understand that. And if you don't, it's okay. But you can look up Lakila Brown, but I wanted to see what she held, and I'm thinking of her grandmother's hands because her hands are her grandmother's hands. And so you'll see here the show. And I'm thinking about all the things that we carry. Here is an installation. I went to Arts and Scraps with my daughter, and I think about medicine and healing. I think about my grandmother being an Eastern Star member and her mother being an Eastern Star wearing the white gloves, doilies, lilies, baby clothes. We all carry things with us. And so there's a box. I want you to answer the question and put it in the box. What do you carry? And it's not just for women because we all carry. But thinking about this country and how we carry, how we hold, what we're going to do. This is the time to keep our heads down and make more art and create more light because there's so much darkness. And so my best friend, this series will go on. She is my light bearer. She says, I carry light. I said, yes, you do. So I'm going to stop talking. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for coming.
Congratulations.